Training camps are underway across the National Football League, and we're going to hit you with some headlines here and react. My name is Harrison Graham. Welcome into Four Verts. Be sure to subscribe. Russell Wilson officially named QB1 in New York, and this was already unofficially official, but Brian Daboll left no doubt when he talked to the media today, said Russ is our guy. He is our starting quarterback. Obviously, Jaxson Dart and Jameis Winston will get reps as well as this thing goes on. But I do think, whether or not it needed to be said out loud, I do think if you're the Giants and you're a Giants fan, and even if with part of what I'm about to say results in they may not win a ton this year, in a perfect world, Jaxson Dart does not play this year. I think he needs a year of development. I don't view him as one of these like NFL pro-ready guys right away, to be honest. A lot of RPOs in that Lane Kiffin offense, a lot of easy answers. Like, to me, he falls into the category of a guy who should sit for his entire rookie year. I mean, even I'm not comparing him to Patrick Mahomes, but as great as he is, I think he benefited greatly from sitting a year behind a veteran, kind of like Russell Wilson, and Alex Smith, coming out of college with an air raid offense where he never huddled up before and all this different stuff. So I think Dart would benefit greatly from not having to play this year. But as we've discussed and as we've mentioned before, this is a unique situation because unlike Kansas City with Mahomes and Green Bay with Jordan Love, the Giants head coach and GM, Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, and maybe they don't, but on the outside looking in, they may not have the luxury to be patient and to sit Dart for this year, even if they probably know that that is the way to go. So if things go south, if things get ugly, and if they're 3-9 at the week 12, week 13 mark, and the fans are going to be clamoring for Dart, does Brian Daboll have the leash and security of 2026 from owner John Mara to not put him in there if he's not ready? Now, maybe he will be ready. Maybe that is a time to go to him and he's ready to go. But if he's not, because I think you see these situations happen where these coaches, these GMs, they throw the young guy out there to almost save their own job, and it doesn't really end up benefiting anybody in the end. So, again, ideally, Russ starts all year. If anything, like if something happens to him, he gets injured, you have Jameis Winston as well. And then in a perfect world, Dart takes over next year. That would be the ideal setup. But Russ is the guy from jump, and we'll see how it plays out. Giants have a pretty tough schedule this year, so it's going to be a challenge week in and week out. Fill in the blank for us. Jaxson Dart will start blank games in 2025. I'm guessing he will at some point because I've seen this song and dance before. I'll say he starts 3 games. I think the answer should be 0 unless he's just progressed significantly as the year goes on. Okay, the Tyrann McLaurin holdout is official. Yesterday we filmed our show, and it was unclear if he was actually going to show up or not. But we kind of knew he wasn't going to practice. He's made his intentions clear. He's upset without a new deal, but there was some chatter. Maybe he'll show up, hold in, but he is not there. He did not arrive at training camp. He's in the D.C. area. He was actually doing some yoga. A fan saw him do and took a picture with him today or something like that, but did not arrive to training camp. Wants a new deal. I think he's set to make like low 20s this year. And obviously the wide receiver market has gone up, and he's in the final year of his contract. And I've said it time and time again, I think he's got a lot of leverage here. I mean, you look at some of the guys in the 30s like Brandon Ayuk, he's been a more reliable player than him. Garrett Wilson just got 32.5. Wilson's younger and I think is still ascending, whereas McLaurin, maybe he's not still ascending, but he's still very good. But he could probably argue that he's worthy of that deal. The DK Metcalf deal, which merged into a 3 for $150 million or 5 for $150 million contract. I think he's got a strong argument to make 32 plus. I am confident this deal will get done. I still think he has the leverage. While Deebo Samuel's had a pretty good offseason there, it sounds like, I still don't think you can go into week 1 with Deebo Samuel and Noah Brown as your primary weapons for Jaden Daniels. So I think in the end, Washington will pay him, but he is holding out and he's holding firm that he wants that new deal. So when you look at the holdout watch across the league, the 3 big ones, Trey Hendrickson, Tyrann McLaurin, Shamar Stewart. Obviously, Hendrickson and Stewart both in Cincinnati. Micah Parsons is there. He's dealing with a little back thing, so he's not full go, but he is present at Cowboys camp. James Cook, Kyron Williams, a couple of running backs that were rumored to potentially hold out. They are present, and it sounds like they're both going to be practicing as well. Juwan Jennings did arrive. John Lynch said they expect him to practice in San Francisco, although he wants a pay raise. And then Elton Jenkins in Green Bay as well showed up, and that's kind of where things sit. Obviously, TJ Watt got paid. A couple others that potentially could have held out got their deals as well, but that is where things sit as of now. Hendrickson, McLaurin, Stewart, those are the situations to monitor, and obviously so is Micah. I think that situation could get a little bit ugly. He kind of re-jabbed at Jerry yesterday, saying he's here for himself and for his teammates, has nothing to do with Jerry Jones. Okay, subscribe to the channel. We are getting closer and closer to 11,000 subscribers. We're right at the year mark of this channel launching. It might have been around today. I'd have to go back and look, but almost 11,000 subscribers in a year. That is a kudos to you guys. Let's keep this train rolling. If you remember last year, we did full division previews for all 8 divisions. We'll start working those in because we got about 7 weeks until week 1. So we'll do one a week, couple a week on a couple of occasions probably to make sure we get those done before week 1. But be on the lookout for that. More training camp coverage, trade buzz if these holdout things go south. We're covering it all. College football content will be worked in as well. Football's in the air, baby, and we are the channel for you. Okay, let's go to the Saints QB competition. Spencer Rattler got the first QB1 reps today. He worked with the starters as they are in this battle right now. Tyler Shough, per Kellen Moore, will get the first team reps tomorrow. Now, we've listed Shough as our QB1 because I think ultimately he will be the starter. They just drafted him in the second round for a reason. But Kellen Moore has maintained that this is a true 3-man competition with Shough, Rattler, and Jake Haener. Now, I think the Haener inclusion is kind of fake, to be honest. Like, I would imagine this gets narrowed down to Rattler and Shough pretty quickly. I would say by the end of the first preseason game. Now, maybe Haener just balls out. Who knows? But I do think he's the distant third of the 3 in terms of having a real shot to actually start. I do think it'll be Rattler or Shough, and we'll see who ends up emerging there. But Rattler did get the initial crack at it, which is at least somewhat notable, I would say. Okay, Honey Badger retires. I want to talk a little bit about Tyrann Mathieu. What a unique path. What a unique career. Gets kicked out of LSU, which today would not have happened because he just liked to smoke marijuana. I don't think that would happen today. But kind of a chaotic journey, certainly some immaturity beyond just the marijuana stuff early on, especially back in college. But then, gets his act together and has quite a unique career, man. He was unreal to watch in Arizona, didn't win a ton there, but then I think was a massive addition for Kansas City. They get him in 2019. They win the Super Bowl that year because you remember in 2018, you could still argue that was the best offense of this Mahomes kind of dynasty, but the defense was horrific. And they hired Steve Spagnuolo, and a big move was to go get Honey Badger, and he was fantastic for them. They win that first Super Bowl. They go to another one in an AFC Championship game before he leaves and goes to New Orleans. And, I think this is a Hall of Fame career, even though it's been kind of a bizarre one because, I think he kind of changed the way defensive coordinators could use certain players. He almost created a new position, just kind of like a roamer. He every defense he played on, he didn't really have a set position. He didn't play, free safety, strong safety. Like, he played like 5 positions, both safety spots. He's playing in the box. He's blitzing like a pass rusher. They kind of just let him roam and play off instincts. And now you see a lot of teams try to deploy players like that. So I think when you think of the Hall of Fame, even if he doesn't have the volume of stats, considering he won a Super Bowl and was a big part of that defense that won it in Kansas City, and just the uniqueness in the way teams changed the way they could deploy defensive players, I think that gets him in at some point in time. So kudos for a great career. I think I read recently he just had a new baby. I can't remember son or daughter, but I think priorities have probably shifted for him. And look, let's be honest, he probably the combination of having a kid and probably got out of OTAs and was like, yeah, we might stink. So do I really want to keep playing? He walks away at, I think, 34 years old. What do you guys think? Do you think Honey Badger's a Hall of Famer? Why for yes and for no? He's probably not a first ballot guy, but I do think he gets in. I do think he should get in. I think the championship and being a big part of that is probably something that gets him over the edge. To replace him, I like this move from the Saints, Julian Blackmon. He was kind of waiting for an opportunity to have a clear-cut starting role. I know that there was interest from other teams there, but he wanted a starting opportunity, and I think that's pretty clear that that's what the Saints are offering here, considering hours later they get Julian Blackmon signed up, had 4 interceptions last year. So I think for New Orleans, it's a good short-term solution for 2025. And for Blackmon, it's kind of a good opportunity to reestablish himself, not necessarily just with the Saints, but if he has a good year, he could be a safety that gets a multi-year contract next year. So I like that fit. I like that addition to bring him back on board. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of For Verts. Training camps are here. We got it all covered here on a daily basis. We'll continue to monitor those holdout situations. Also, Jordan Schultz mentioned that Keenan Allen's been drawing interest. He could be a player that signs soon, so we'll talk about that on a future episode as well. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys next time.